So, so I've really been struggling lately, and which is highly unusual for me, and and I've had some kind of deep realizations. I've spoken about this before. That like awakening or realization is a process, and it's not really an event, right? A lot of people want to say when I awakened. It's much deeper than that in my experience, and it usually comes through pain and struggle, right? It's a lot of people say spirituality is love and light, and it is, but it's also a painful, lonely, self-destructive process. And what do I mean by that? Let me kind of like try to explain in words, which is sometimes difficult. And so I'm just turning the camera on and rambling. I've devoted my life to service for a lot of reasons, but recently, I just did 7 months on the Appalachian Trail, like throwing myself into supporting other people, putting other people's needs before my own, which is really kind of a paradox, but following the bubble from Georgia to Maine for a couple of reasons. Number one, I love the AT and I wanted to give back post Hurricane Helene, and to the communities and to the people hiking, and use my experience from my own through hike to kind of encourage and support people, and I also it's part of my recovery, right? It's like abandoning myself and my desires and the things that I want, and it's part of my awakening, right? It's like to give myself to others. My life is significantly enhanced because of it. When I show kindness to others, it's showing kindness to myself, so I spent 7 months out there, getting to know the hikers, the communities, the hostel owners, the trail angels, and maybe from Woody Gap all the way to A-Ball Bridge in Katahdin, and passing out cold drinks and ice and dehydrated meals that my family member Thrive made and mailed to me, so that we can help the zero budget hikers that are out there, and just about anybody. I gave away my own gear. I gave away my Osprey pack that only had about 75 miles on it to somebody in need. I gave away my tarp for my hammock system, my trekking poles, a couple of headlamps, some power banks, CNOC bags. Mostly I gave away my time. People with norovirus. I had norovirus 3 times because I know what that feels like, and I want to turn somebody away from a ride off a mountain because they didn't feel well, and injuries, or I'm not slack pack people free, right? And I'm not bringing any of this up because I'm anything special, I do it because it benefits me, right? So anyway, I come home, and when you're gone for that long and you're putting your life on hold, my dog is experiencing some symptoms out there, and my vet called in prescription, some eye infection, and that didn't help. So I had to go to a vet in New York and got some more stuff, and it didn't help. And it turns out he needs surgery, and it's not cheap. And I also come back here to Florida a little bit, and I've been gone for a little more than 2 years, pretty much, hiking the AT and then doing what I did this year. And I feel a certain way, right? I feel like I'm not as connected here as I was before. And that causes me to question, am I spending time helping strangers and not being here for the people that, you know, I was here for before? And so I make a drive. I'm displaced. I'm living out of my truck still, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. And so I decided to drive up to Virginia to the ALDA conference, and people have been inviting me there since last year, and kind of a last minute decision. And I go up there, and when I get to Abingdon, Virginia, like, my truck breaks down and the transmission goes. And here's what I'm trying to say. Those things happen all the time. That's life, man. Those things by themselves do not cause my struggle, right? It's just another mountain to climb. It's another route. It's another, like, bouldery scramble. That doesn't cause my struggle and suffering. It's always an underlying deeper issue, and I'm fully aware of that, and my channel's Awakened Ab, right? And I'm also fully aware that there's only really two issues that cause us to suffer in life, and the root causes of those issues, I don't care what background you're in, or personal development, spiritual growth, Christianity, the 7 deadly sins. What's the root of the 7 deadly sins, right? Selfishness and fear. All of the sins are selfish in nature. Self, poor me, and fear. I'm afraid. In Buddhism, they say the 2 things that cause all suffering is attachment and desire. Attachment is clinging to things. I don't want to lose it, or I want to attain it. And desire is, you know, about me. I want that. Attachment's fear. Desire, selfish, right? The root of those is self and fear. And I'm fully aware of this. So I'm practicing selflessness, and but I'm still struggling, right? How do I overcome my selfish, self-seeking, and fearful nature? By generating humility through service to other people. Service to other people is service to me. That is my solution to the problem that has caused all my turmoil in life, all my addiction, all my poor me, and my life isn't fair, right? That's the reason I do the things I do. So I'm aware of this, and as I'm reflecting, I'm like, why am I struggling? And, you know, there's people surrounding me who are offering to help me. Not just now for this situation, all year. That's why I say awakening is a process. When I look back on my life, even the last year, right? I used all my own money to hike. Why did I do that? Because it's my solution to give, right? To give my time, my energy. My hike was never about me. No experience, no plan, never been in the mountains. I didn't even know if I would like hiking. The hike to me was my way of serving you or people in the world, of showing them that it doesn't matter what I do. I can be happy or content anywhere, even if I'm not very good at hiking, right? And because the mountains, the struggle, the physical pain, the discomfort doesn't cause suffering. They're different. Suffering is taking that physical pain or that discomfort and stretching it out over time, right? Like, why is this happening to me? Poor me. It's all created in the mind, and I'm fully aware of this. So as I'm sitting there, I suddenly, you know, people had offered to help me, not just this year, but last year, like my entire life. I'm giving. And I'm learning from people, but I'm not receiving their gifts. And so here's how this unfolded. I go to the vet, who's a friend of mine, and, you know, he tells me it's going to be about $2,500, but I could start a GoFundMe. I immediately resist. No, it's my responsibility, right? Then my truck breaks down, and there's people around me, and they're like, I want to help you. And I'm, no. No. And I start to see, through the grace of somebody, individual named Dana, who I've met through like a lot of my social media. I've never met face to face, but we touch base with each other a lot, and I think it's a very reciprocal relationship. He's a wonderful human being, and in a moment of like, in a moment of divine or synchronicity, choreography, he messages me Saturday morning and says like, hey, we had a great day on this conference call that we do, that they do every Saturday. I've attended once, and I hope you're doing well. And I kind of word vomited, and I said, well, I'm having some difficulties, this. My dog needs surgery, this. My car needs to be fixed, so I'm stranded in Virginia right now at this conference. And he showed me grace and sent me $200. I didn't ask him. But in that moment of our sharing as equals, and like me, my vulnerability and opening up to him, I suddenly realized that like, if my solution is to give to others, and that's my solution to my addiction, my problem with me, my problem with selfishness, my problem of being afraid, and everybody I went to offer help, if I'm like, do you need a ride? Can I give you a ride? Would you like a soda? Are you suffering from addiction? Can I help you? Said, nope, I got this. What would my solution be? To generate humility, to overcome the burden that is me. And I realized I was being selfish by not allowing other people to help me, number one. But more importantly, I was afraid. I was afraid of appearing not strong or not manly enough or irresponsible, or like that I was running a racket or a scheme, or it's fear and self, man. And it really comes down to, I have judged other people on social media using their platforms to ask for money or solicit money or anything like that. So it's in the spiritual realm, it's the mirror principle. It keeps showing up to me like, it's no coincidence I'm being judgmental towards other people using their platforms to solicit. And then I go to my vet and he recommends this, and then other people want to start a GoFundMe for me, and I'm resisting. I'm not in the flow. I'm not accepting. And that's humbling, man. And it's, I've been doing this for a little while, man. And I take things, so I'm always looking deeply. I'm always trying to understand myself and what about me is blocking me from development, growth, conscious contact, being in the flow, man. And I suddenly realized that I was afraid. I was afraid to be judged. I was judging other people, but I was afraid to be judged. I had elevated myself somehow. My mission was more important than other people's because I'm a giver. And I am showing love to others, devoting all my time and energy and resources to others, which is a beautiful thing. But I'm not receiving any. All this year, people tried to donate to me, and I resisted. I resisted the word trail angel. People are like, you're a trail angel. I'm like, no, I'm not. There's no halo on my head. I am doing this because it benefits me. I resisted that. I resisted these titles. I resisted the gifts that people wanted to give to me, and I judged others for when I shouldn't have. And so, rather than have somebody who offered to do a GoFundMe for me, I threw myself on the sword, man. And what happens when I realize I'm afraid, and what happens when I realize I'm selfish, I apologize and I step into it, and I'm going to demonstrate through my action of telling people that I am in a bind. The financial aspect does not cause my suffering at all. It is just another mountain. It's a difficult climb, but it does not cause my suffering. The act of me making the GoFundMe and putting myself vulnerable and wearing it is where the healing comes in and where the suffering ends, right? It's like I am not resisting anymore. And I don't expect people to pay for my stuff, and I don't expect people to solve my problems, and I don't expect anything. But I'm overwhelmed by the grace and the beauty of life when I get out of the way. I am a wing it. I let go of my ideas of the way things should be, or at least I thought I did. And I'm still clinging to my ideas. Still clinging to pride. I'm still in resistance. And to me, peace is a simple definition. No resistance. If I am resisting, I am not in peace. So that's the reason I lay myself bare. I mean, I started this channel to show others it is possible to change your life and live a different way. And that my life is substantially more aware, more conscious, more connected than it ever has been in the past. But I haven't arrived. I'm not enlightened. The ego is a subtle foe, and it will reveal to me over time, over and over, that what I thought I had transcended, my selfish, self-seeking, and fearful nature, is just put on another mask. And it just calls it something else, right? It's called it God reliant or universe reliant. I don't need anything from anybody. As people continue to show up, and these signs continue to show up and show up and show up. These situations, the car, the dog, the being displaced, the feeling rejection, the seeing the signs of judgment on my own part towards others who seek solicit money on social media. All of these are clear indications that I am resisting, and that so my act of humility was to lay it bare. I didn't care if I received a dime. I really didn't. The act of it alone was enough for me. Now that I know I'm afraid, am I willing to let go of that fear? And what is the cost to end my suffering? And that is to be trusting and open. And so if you're struggling out there today, like even on a spiritual path, right? Even if it doesn't feel like love and light, it's not because of the circumstances that caused my suffering. It is not because of what is happening to me. It is because I am blocking myself through fear and selfish, self-seeking motives. I don't need anything. Half of love isn't love. So if I can give love 100%, but I can only receive love 50% or less, in my case, then it's not love. As hard as it is to hear that. So I believe these things show up in my life through people, and it's the people that point me back to myself so that I can self-realize the things that are blocking me from experiencing grace. So thank you to my teachers, which is everybody, including the people that I judge, right? Probably even more so. It's always pointing back to me, but I don't always see it. So this collapse, it needed to collapse, because I had been noticing this pattern for a long time. That's why I say awakening is a process, not an event. Maybe I realized today, but the universe or God or myself, personal development, whatever somebody calls it, has been trying to show me this for some time. So I'm humbled, I'm grateful. I'm doing the footwork now to remedy the situations and have a plan. I'm handling the climb, man. And there's some discomfort in handling the climb and figuring this out, but there ain't no more struggle. There's no more suffering on my part. So I just want to make this video explaining the realizations I had thanks to the grace of people who have been trying to help me and I've been resisting. I apologize. Thank you so much for showing me love. And I'm sincerely sorry that I wasn't able to receive it fully. But thank you.